Are you close to your father now?
Mm-hmm.
Did you forgive him for leaving you with your mother?
Oh, no.
The what?
Did I forgive my dad? Sure.
For leaving you with your mother, letting her destroy you like that?
I'm not destroyed.
You're not?
One eternity later.
So a few of you guys have said for us to react to some Jesse Lee Peterson. Now, and one of you guys sent us a clip of Jesse Lee Peterson, what we think about the thing. So we have reacted to Jesse Lee Peterson a few times because, quite frankly, he's funny.
I'm sorry. Some people.
I know you guys. I know
he's flawed. He's not.
He's a flawed man.
I'm sorry. I'm entertained.
But you guys, I can't. We're not gonna sit here and lie. The guys.
I mean, sometimes he's right a lot of times.
No, yeah.
But I'm sorry. I am entertained by this guy. I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they have more subscribers.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
But in my mind, he should have like 2 million because I would be watching those.
But we had like 6 people say this. You know, do you guys ever listen? So someone said the other day, did we ever watch Jesse Lee Peterson and The Fallen State and all this stuff, right? And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, we actually did videos. So I actually, you know what I'll do? I guess I could probably just make a playlist at this point of his. Cause we've done a few of his videos, but I'll put up the playlist of him. And you guys can see our reaction to a few of the things that he's done. But the one that was sent to us, sent by a guy named Malcolm, he sent this to us.
I like that name.
I know Malcolm.
Malcolm.
So Malcolm, I actually have not seen this one. I just downloaded it just to see what it's about. And I've seen a lot of his, but I don't think I've seen this one. Where is it? So we're gonna look at this together. How long is this? 11 minutes. Okay, it's only like 11 minutes. So we'll take a look at this and see what this is all about. And yeah, let's go.
Did you know that the civil rights movement was, other than abortion, the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks?
No, I don't agree with that.
And why not?
I don't see why it would be the worst thing to ever happen to the blacks. Being able to have desegregation and being able to be treated like a full and equal human in society, although we still have our issues and systematic racism still exists, a lot of good came from the civil rights era.
I grew up in Alabama, as I said, during the time that so-called Jim Crow law existed. I remember for colors on it, for whites on it, blah, 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 kind of water fountain and all that. But the blacks were doing better then than they are today in that they bought land, they owned homes, they went to universities if they wanted to, they had trades. When the kids left home, graduated, left home, they started businesses, they bought homes. And the Jim Crow law existed. But it brought the best out of the blacks because they had to do for themselves, right? They couldn't blame someone else, and they did the best. They would be like the Jews are today had not the civil rights movement happened. And but when the civil rights movement happened, the blacks gave up their families for the government. They gave up their becoming an individual for the so-called black leaders like Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson, all those people. They turned their lives over to them. And those people told them, racism is this, y'all can't make it. Y'all need us, y'all need this. And the blacks have gone downhill ever since. They have never returned back to normal. Have you noticed that?
I completely disagree with that.
Why?
It's just
what part of that you disagree with?
How have blacks gone downhill? Black women particularly are the most educated demographic of people in the whole country. In 2023, that's an improvement because there were times where we weren't even allowed to go to school prior to, certain things being protected.
When were you not allowed to go to school?
Women.
As a result of the segregation, they were creating black universities and things like that, which brought out the best in blacks then. And then the education that they were getting is much better than the education they're getting out of black schools because, how black folks are, they don't care. But the education was no good. And if you notice, the black women who are getting the so-called education, it's putting them on a false pedestal, and they think they're better than everybody. Now they're lonely, they're lost, they're angry, and nobody want to deal with them. So they got worse rather than getting better.
Jesse is a complete savage. But when I look at her demeanor, see, this is the same thing happened with the Ebony Williams lady. like the whole demeanor is already up for a fight. Like she's already the attitude, and she's real pretty. Like
she's real pretty.
And her skin tone, like she's pretty skin. I'm sorry,
but not only that, but her she's got a nice speaking voice. She's, you know, like
she seems to be level-headed woman. But this is what happens when the indoctrination happens. Completely normal, kind of level-headed, lovely women that are dressing nice and behaving decently, right? They can easily just go right off the, well, black women alone are the most educated of the, here we go.
But Jessie is trying to say also, and I think that a lot of people that think like her, that are well indoctrinated in BLM and civil rights and all that, you know what I mean? What they're not understanding is that you're being baited.
Yes.
Especially black women. We're more successful than our men.
Yeah.
Do you think that's right?
It's not
you
really
think that there's right, that there's nothing carved out for black men, that there's only stuff carved out, that Joe Biden is literally making women, black women, successful right before our eyes, but he's ignoring black men? You don't think that there is an agenda there to put black women ahead of their men?
That's not a highlight.
Break the family cycle.
Like it's not a highlight.
You don't think that abortion is the reason why we're still stagnant at 13%? Right. You don't understand that sometimes I think these people that are into this black movement thing, sometimes they don't realize that you think there's a reason why you're being handed stuff. Mm-hmm. You're being handed things. Are you blind to the fact that most black neighborhoods are scary to live in? Which
is why I think it's interesting that she said, how do black people go downhill? When black people say this and they choose to ignore all the problems going on in the black community and hop, skip, and jump to the black women most successful because they go to college and all this kind of stuff. You're not going to even talk about the violence that we do amongst each other. This is delusion.
This is delusion. She's not talking about the neighborhoods, the drugs, and the crime rates that are in the neighborhood. She's not talking about the abortion rate. She's not talking about the single mother rate. What she's talking about is as long as we're still in the fight and we're getting black women are getting going up the chain, then we're doing all right. Mm-hmm. And that's someone who lives in a bubble, a vacuum. She's not really thinking of black people. She's kind of thinking of herself.
Yeah, that college education. This is what happens when they get into college. It happens like this.
I completely disagree. I know plenty of black women who are happily married and educated. I'm going to my friend Tati's wedding next weekend. Black woman, black man. She has a master's degree, and she's getting married a black man.
But educated women don't make for good wives and good mothers.
I completely disagree with that.
Why is that?
It's just not true. It's sexist. It's a lot of misogyny in there, and it's just not true.
What's not true about that?
Why does education stop you from being a good mother? Explain to me why having education means you're not a good mother.
Because a woman that's educated, she thinks she's equal to a man, and so she's gonna want to go to work. She's gonna try to make the man become the woman at the house. She's not gonna want to obey her husband.
Why would a man become a woman because a man, is he not also going to work?
Because a woman that's educated think that she should work and not be at home raising his children and clean, keeping the house going and things like that. And they don't care about the children. Educated women don't care about the children. They'll rather throw them off in a daycare center just so they could get their ego fulfillment. So they don't really make for good wives and good mothers.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that.
Why do you disagree with that?
Because it's just not true. I know a lot of women who are educated. My mother was very educated. She went to school and she raised me well to now I too have a master's degree. I have my pick of the litter. There are plenty of men that want me. I can guarantee you that. And I have my own business, so it works.
But you haven't mentioned what's good about internet. None of that.
I think she raised
at all that's a good thing.
She raised a happy, healthy, functioning adult that was able to grow a business while being educated and
nothing good about that.
She's sticking. I'm sorry, real quick. She's sticking to this business college thing. She's not going to go outside. See, it's going to be very difficult for women like this. I guess I see the rest of it. But it's very difficult for women like this to understand there are other aspects of life than just your college education and the fact that you own a business and stuff like that. Because those are considered successes for women right now. And what an actual, I think, success for women is really being able to raise a family and this kind of thing. I think that's where we shine.
Yeah.
You know, and so because we flipped it all now, women are now the, you know, high-powered, you know, CEOs and stuff like that. So now we're not seeing the pure essence of what a lady is anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because even back in the 50s, women went to college. It wasn't that college is this that when they decided to be mothers, they put that away and let their husband help their husbands climb up the ladder, and they took care of the home. Yep. And you know the thing is like what she also done is the highest divorce rate are college educated women.
It is.
So while she's talking about her friend getting married, she's actually more likely to be divorced soon.
Right.
Because
there's
when you neglect a part of your marriage, and everybody's doing the same thing, it makes sense to me why that would be.
Yeah. It's going to be a falling out.
You know what I mean? We just did a video on Ebony, that girl. She's on her way to becoming her. Yeah. This is what happens. No emotion. See, she's not even... no emotion. She's just not there. I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah. You know, I'm sexually... I'm you know, what do you say? I'm successful and fulfilled. And
men want me. And everybody
wants me. And I'm just so desired. And then it's just like, yep.
Yeah. Okay. But body language is showing that she's closed.
She's also uncomfortable.
Yeah, but her body language is showing that she's closed with her arms. Whenever someone puts their arms in front of them like that, that means that Jessie obviously is very open, you know. But so when I see people have this type of body language, she's uncomfortable because she knows that she's gonna have to sell this whole college educated woman thing to a man who clearly believes the other way.
Believes the patriarchy.
A piece of patriarchy.
You know what I mean? But I will say this, Jessie Lee Peterson's way served us better for many years up until 5 minutes ago.
Right.
And now this thing has made plenty of broken homes.
Yeah, so that's very true.
A lot of divorce.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it? What's bad about it?
We're talking about a woman staying home and raising the man's children.
You're not explaining your point on how that makes her a bad mother. Like, where does she go wrong?
By trying to fulfill her ego.
But where
thinking
did
that
it
she's
not
equal
work?
to a man, rather than having the love of raising the man's children, being there for the children, and being there for the...
Are you saying that women who have an education can't raise their kids?
Right.
Why?
Because they are on an ego trip. They try to go to prove that they are like a man.
Who raised me?
Would you ever? Are you planning to get married one day?
Yeah.
Would you ever obey your husband?
Sure.
You would stay home. You would let all this education stuff go.
Yeah, I'm not staying at home.
Okay. Did you see how she answered that?
That was a lie.
Sure. Sure. No, she will not. She didn't. That girl is fully educated. There is no way she's about to come home and do anything for some guy. Yeah, when he can do it himself. You can tell that's what's going to happen.
Not with this attitude. No. This woman has all the telltale attitude signs. Why do black? I want black women to stop being so attitude. It's just so funny. But anyways,
sure.
It's crazy. But she was like, "Oh, sure." No, the answer to that question was a resounding no, and her answer
she's just lying.
She solidified that real fact that she would not be obeying anybody.
Why?
Because I don't want to.
Well, why get married if you don't love your husband, your children enough to stay home and watch over his children?
I don't even want children, so
you don't want
I'm
children?
be married with my husband, traveling the world, and living my best life.
So why get married then?
Why
you
not?
could do that.
I want partnership and companionship. I want to build, again, marriage does come with certain things. Like, you are tied to that person. You can buy homes together. You have better credit. Your taxes is lower. There's a lot of benefits to marriage that aren't based on having children.
But those are selfish benefits.
So I'm selfish.
Oh, see, yeah. And you were raised by a single woman, right?
I was raised by a married woman.
But she didn't stay home.
So?
Right? She didn't stay home and raise you.
What's your point?
I rest my case.
What's your point? I feel like it worked. I'm fine. Like, if your argument were true, that would mean that my mother would have had to fail in some way, right? That would have meant that she didn't do a good job raising me, that I had some sort of troubles, I wasn't able to succeed in life, and that, like, her status, because eventually my parents did get divorced, and that did not have a negative effect on me being...
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. I told you these. I told you. You know why? It's because that's not marriage.
Not marriage.
That's not marriage. Marriage is not in your head like this. When it comes to women, we are not built to be this.
It's not. So her parents are divorced.
Most men want a legacy too. So she's going to have to find a man that doesn't want children at all. But I just think like, girl,
She sold the two-parent household in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then neglected to tell us until right now that came out that her parents are actually divorced, which is proving Jesse's point that when a mother is not dedicated to the home, it will have a huge toll on the relationship. Divorce starts entering the conversation. And the reason why is because when you're both, Kara said it a million times, when you're both doing the same thing, it doesn't work. Something is getting neglected. Okay? And judging by her demeanor, her attitude, it's saying to me that she's saying she didn't have any problems. Turned out perfectly fine and well, still selling the, I'm college educated, still doing that. She's going to probably always say that. But we see that there were some problems there because her demeanor and her behavior is showing a product of a divorce. A product of a mother who went to work in college and everything and didn't stay home. We're seeing it.
So remember that's what I was saying. I think when women work, it causes women not to trust men.
It does.
Because when you can make your own money, and when you're making your own money, and you in your mind you're becoming, I don't need him because I can do this. I don't need him. The more you start saying things like that, you start doing things like that, it makes you doesn't make you resent him. It just makes you feel as though you, like Jesse said, you're the same. And then when he expects something from you that men expect from women, and then you're in your head because you think you're the same, you're going to get a divorce. Because men don't like that. We're just talking about emotional men. The instant you get too much emotion from men, you'll get a divorce. Because you're not getting something from him that you're supposed to get, that your femininity is asking for. And so I didn't even know that this girl, I haven't seen this video, but I would say that it was they're the highest rated divorce because of course, that's not family life. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to, when you have children, to me, it is selfish for you. And a lot of women say, well, sometimes, most places, most families need a two-parent home right now. Or could you deal with less?
Right. She said she's selfish, by the way. Did you guys hear that?
He baited her out of her. You know what I mean? And the truth is that a lot of women are selfish now. Because they think because they have all this money and time that they don't have to, value the marriage. I got the marriage, I got the kids, I got the money, and then so they don't feel there's no value in it. But when you're at home cooking, cleaning, you value because you got your hands in it.
And it was also predicted back in the 50s and 60s from a lot of conservative women that believed in the conservative way, the traditional way. It was predicted by them then that women today would start not wanting to have children and procreate and build our country to have more people populate our country. And they are right. There's a lot of what she just said. She doesn't want children, so that they are correct. When women start to work and go to school and do all stuff, you can do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Would never say that. But there's going to be a price you pay, and that price later on you'll see. It'll show up in your attitude even more later on.
But Matt Walsh was even saying that now a lot of this Generation Z, and they're all not wanting to have kids now. They're all just wanting to be like perpetual children for the rest of their life. And this is what happens. But I think like abortion, like when I was saying the other day about the not voting, women voting, and the reason why I said that is because women went berserk when I say stuff like that. But those women won't go berserk over abortion, single mother rates,
no problems,
bad education for kids in their schools. You won't hear mom's the word. You won't hear women get on the street for that.
Able to grow up and
did they get divorced while you were young?
Yeah.
While you were still living at home?
Correct.
Oh, I thought you said you were raised by both parents.
For a little bit. Then they got
So
divorced.
you weren't raised by both parents. See, I told you, educated women don't make for good wives and good mothers. And now you're an adult. If you got married, number one, you're not going to obey your husband. Number two, you don't want to have children. There's no reason to get married.
To you.
Because you can party by yourself like that. You have friends, and you can take your male friends with you and everything.
To you.
Isn't that right?
To you, there's no reason to get married to you, but there's going to be, for me, I still see a reason.
Do you believe, did you go to a black university?
No.
Which one you went to?
University of North Texas.
North Texas. Do you believe that a woman should stay home and raise the man's children?
I believe that women are allowed to make whatever choice makes them the most happy, feel the most fulfilled, and feel the most safe. If they're staying at home, then stay at home. If you don't want to, then you don't have to.
Do you believe that they should stay at home and raise the man's children?
If they want to. I don't believe, again, we talked about freedom. I really believe in freedom. So I believe in, if that's what a woman wants to do you, boo. And if you don't, then don't.
But do you believe she should, since she got married, she should obey her husband and stay home and raise his children?
I believe she should do whatever she wants. That's what I believe.
And not what he wants?
Correct.
Really, not what her husband wants?
Right. As the husband should do whatever he wants to do because we're autonomous people with freedom, right?
No,
see, that's she don't understand marriage at all.
No, she's oh Lord,
Oh, God.
This is gonna be a.
You know what? She's gonna
her.
get married too, and it's gonna be bad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
she will get married.
Yeah.
And it is going to be bad because she's wanting to call the shots.
What
I can
did
see.
Vodi Bakum say? There can't be two heads of the house. There's only one. Anything with two heads is a monster.
Yeah, that's true. That's what that actually is.
That's what he said. I was watching one of his sermons the other day, and he said there's only one head, and that is the man. There can't be a house with two heads. Anything with two heads is a monster.
I'm done.
And I said,
Do you believe that a woman should obey her husband?
She should do whatever she wants to do. Whatever works in
No,
that
I'm asking you,
household.
what do you believe? Do you personally believe that a woman should obey her husband?
I don't like the word obey. I believe in communication, collaboration, and whatever makes the most sense for your household. So if the husband wants to lead the household and the woman believes that's what makes the most sense for their household and they come to an agreement on that, a meeting of the minds, and they agree that's how their household should be ran, then that's how it should be ran. But again, I believe in meeting of the minds, communication, and collaboration. Whatever works for one might not work for another family unit. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors in somebody's home. So whatever makes the most sense for their marriage to succeed is what they should do.
Amazing. You don't like the word obey, you say?
Yeah, obey sounds, again, I believe women are equal to men. So we're just going to disagree on that.
And so what's wrong with the word obey?
Because obey sounds like an authority.
It is.
it is.
And I
A
don't
dictator.
Yeah, and my
And
husband
being
should not
supposed
be
to
a dictator.
dictate in the home.
Completely disagree.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you close to your father now? Mm-hmm. Did you forgive him for leaving you with your mother?
Oh no.
The what?
Did I forgive my dad? Sure.
For leaving you with your mother, letting her destroy you like that?
I'm not destroyed.
You're not?
What about this? I'm not destroyed.
Really? Where did your anger come from?
One eternity later.
Savage.
Really? Where did your anger come from
What anger?
that you have?
What anger?
Do you have anger?
No.
You have no anger.
Anger about what?
Do you ever get angry?
Have I ever felt the emotion anger? Yes.
And where did that come from?
What, me ever feeling angry? When
How
something
did you
upset
become?
me?
How did you develop the emotion of anger?
Just like any other normal person. If something's upset me, I have a full spectrum of emotions. I feel very happy, I feel peaceful, I feel joyful. There are some times where I feel sad. There's some times where I feel upset, I feel angry, I feel scared, I feel frightened, I feel anxious. We all have a very wide variety of emotions that we all can experience.
Is that a normal way to live?
Absolutely.
Really?
You should be able to be emotionally intelligent and be able to identify
See, this
how
is
you're
different.
feeling.
This is different between men and women. It's abnormal for a man to be emotional. Any man that has anger is a woman, because you know how the mothers pass their identities to the children. She recreate them in her image, and so any man that have an emotions is that of his mother, and that's why he has to overcome it so he can bring his woman out of that kind of hell. That's a hard way to live, to have all those.
That's the best way to live, and I think more men should be emotionally intelligent and be able to experience emotions other than just happy and angry.
But emotions are evil
Why?
because they're of your father, the devil.
Okay, well, we can move on because I just completely disagree with that.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I grew up Christian.
Well, Christ said that a woman should obey her husband. Was he wrong too?
Sure.
Christ was wrong?
Yeah,
The God you believe in was wrong when he said that.
sure.
You guys. She said, sure.
But you know what though? That's funny. But didn't I just say that the instant people start getting in their head, they get technology, they start thinking they're better than God. They start thinking they know more than God. They literally start to rewrite Bible and start saying all kinds of stuff. And she literally said, "I'm a Christian," and he was Christ is wrong.
Christ is wrong. Sure. She said, sure. Was he wrong? Sure. Y'all.
She looks like a barrel of fun.
Yeah. She's stoic. This woman is like She's kind of cold.
She's uncomfortable too because you can tell she's only used to having intellectual relationships with people who open up a book all day. Here's Jesse's talking to her about normal stuff, and she didn't know how to. I don't know.
Jesse's talking about feelings.
I have feelings.
Yeah.
I sometimes I feel sad. It's like when you get downloaded. Sometimes they download a chip in me that's sad, and then sometimes they download happiness, and sometimes they download that. It's just like these people are there. She looks like a barrel of fun, doesn't she? This is exactly who men want to marry.
Right.
Amazing. Are you a millennial?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a millennial. Oh.
Oh, it's over. Wait. Hey, so first of all, Malcolm.
Jesse didn't disappoint.
I'm saying Malcolm. We've seen a lot of on stage. I have never seen that. I want to see.
I've never seen that one.
I've never seen that clip. But I'm gonna be honest with you, that would be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
My God.
Jesse was just never disappoints.
He never disappoints.
Now,
never.
I want to point this out with Jesse, though. What we've noticed with Jesse, because I know people always say, that he says that women are of the devil, and he says that, and it's a lot of things that Jesse says that we are
starting to look like it.
Yeah,
you look around. Yeah. We are starting to.
But Karen and I have we have studied Jesse a little bit, and we notice that he only talks like that with people like her, or a guy that's like, you know what I mean, that's saying some BS, right? I noticed that he never does that with the women that are normal women, feminine women. He never talks like that with them. He never talks about women, you're of the devil. I think that he's trying to pull something out of them.
Well, I think he's baiting. He's trying to stir the pot. Yeah. Because he always starts off, when he does these interviews, he starts off with pretty basic stuff. You worked here, you did this. And then you can see where he's starting to, he's getting to mess with them.
His interviewing techniques are so...
He's good. It's fun. They're interesting. He starts to push buttons. You can start seeing, and people just start to lose their mind.
Now, so he's also talked. And one thing I do somewhat disagree with Jesse though when he talks about the anger stuff, because he says he doesn't have any anger, and I believe that Jesse does. I think Jesse has a lot of anger, to be honest with you, and I think that I don't know. There's a lot of things with Jesse that I don't agree with, but I would say the vast majority, he really is right. Factually, he just is correct. This is a situation where he is correct. But she is going to be one of those. She's already like Kara said, an Ebony Williams in the making. I'm not sure. She's a millennial. Yeah, so she's she's going to be like Ebony.
And what's wrong with these women is like what I've been saying, is that technology is what's wrong with these women. See, men, you can blame it on yourself too, because you guys made life so easy. Yeah. With all this technology and all these conveniences that now we really think that we are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sure. And the thing is that if you pull the rug underneath all of these women, and we went back to 1900. Yeah. And the world did a go back. Yeah. These women would be finding men in 5 seconds because life was hard. There were things in the home that had to be done, and women had to do it because there were things in the world that had to be done, and only men could do it. And see, these women are their heads are just overly inflated. It is. They believe that they are progressing, but they don't want to give thanks to the person who gave them that progression. And that's actually men. What they've decided to do is to be mean to men and call them misogynistic and sexist and chauvinistic. But the truth is that you only have your independence because men were able to create all of the cameras, the phones, the schools that are built, everything, the chairs you sit on, all of that was created by men. The right to vote was given to you by men. So the whole idea that even abortion, because most of the Supreme Court, the whole Supreme Court was men when that passed. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I'm just thinking, I think these women don't understand that, and it only takes them to be alone too long with their college books and their money to realize that men have a place in your life. And
then she doesn't want to have children, which I'm not judging that either. If you don't have kids, that's fine. Honestly, in this state of mind, I would not recommend this one to have kids if she's going to be like that. Not at this time in her life. Not at this time in her life. Not her being like that. But I do think that there's a problem with that too, not wanting the idea that back in the 60s and the 50s that conservative women said this is going to happen. and they kind of predicted that. It's not because there's some psychics. It's because literally when you see women not honoring the kind of their role, these types of things are going to happen. It's going to be a population problem, you know. And they're right. See, and she's filled up with degrees and, you know, and money
and talking points.
Yeah, she's filled up all this stuff. You know, she has her college but she's not filled up with feeling. Like she doesn't have any emotion. Like she's just sitting there with her arms crossed and she's like talking to him. She's trying to be nonchalant. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be fooled by the antics.
And
you know,
the greatest thing about Jesse is he has no emotional.
Yeah,
he doesn't get annoyed.
Yeah,
at all, which I think is one of his
strong
suits of being able to interview people, because he doesn't even when they call him a coon and stuff, he doesn't get it doesn't faze him at all. No. And I think that you have to have that to be an interviewer, because people will try to get at you, but he can see through her, and so can I. She's not ready for anything real. She's still a college girl acting like a college girl. She doesn't know anything life. She doesn't know any life is beyond feminism and what they taught her to be and what to be. And you know, she's a voted for Donald, what's his name, Joe Biden, and she probably goes to the NAACP, all the black stuff. You know what I mean? all the things you're supposed to do when you're a black lady. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's doing all the things. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's just like we're breeding these types of people, where the only ambition is money. And I am so tired of talking about money all the time. Money and looks. I'm sick to death of both of them. I mean, because to me, in my opinion, I think that motherhood is the greatest calling a woman can be. Yeah, I think that's just my opinion. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm mad because I haven't done that. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that I think the greatest calling a woman can be is a mother. Yeah. Because you want to give back something to the world. Yeah. Raise a great child. Right. Agreed. A great child can change a lot of things and become a lot of things. Right. And I just think that women working a lot of time is just selfish, self-fulfilling ego, like he said. And I know a lot of women don't know that, don't understand that, but the truth is that to me, I think that you should take care of your kids. Your kids, to me, are the most important thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? They are. Once they didn't ask to be here. Right. So once they're here, I think it's selfish, really, you know, to spend all your time at a job when you could be at home being a mother. I just think it's more fulfilling. That was pretty funny. Malcolm, thank you for sending that. Okay, so you guys let us know what you think. Leave some comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this young lady. It's very interesting. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys on the next video.